Good morning and welcome to the Frontiers of Knowledge segment of Dr. Lamba's Awakening Call. As we said the other day, the knowledge about the reality of life, the reality of the world is so astounding that one marvels. Would you ever believe that one of the most treasured food items, cheese, was being made in India 4,500 years back? And that has been found now on the basis of an archaeological study. In modern day Gujarat, there is an area called Kutch. This was also the scene of war between India and Pakistan way back, just prior to 1965 war. And there is a village, small village there, Kotada Badli. There the archaeology has found that Indus Valley civilization and pre-Harappan civilization finds the utensils, pottery. And when the pottery was examined, it was found that there were remains of cheese in that. So it was consumed in that mature Harappan period, 4,500 years back. As a matter of fact, an analysis was made of the unglazed pottery, and the absorbed lipid residues revealed fatty acids, organic compounds found in the plant and animal products, and they were absorbed by the pottery because even now earthen pottery is commonly used in it. So these remnants were extracted, analyzed, and then it was found that dairy processing and the preservation of milk through fermentation and other techniques was a common thing. So, what is today thought to be a marvel of science and dairy industry, making cheese products, this was a normal thing in India 4,500 years back. But then cycles change. However, the old cultures do not die. Anyway, but that's not the only nugget of information I want to give you today. The biggest problem we are facing in the world today is aging. The longevity of human life has increased. But along with that is a specter which haunts older people. That is Parkinson's, dementia, Alzheimer. And now Cambridge University has found that the most degenerative disease like dementia and Alzheimer's can be protected. The person can be protected from these diseases, and they have discovered a cold shock protein. And where is it? It is developed in the human body if you take cold showers, either regularly swim in the icy water or take icy cold shower. Just cold would not do, it has to be icy cold. And what they did was they had some work done on the mice. And they found two sorts of mice, one suffering from dementia, other normal mice. So they put them in, and their body temperature was reduced to minus 35 degrees Celsius. Basically, they became hypothermic, they could have died. but they were reformed, and it was found that ordinary mice could regenerate synapses. Now, these synapses could not be regenerated by the mice suffering from dementia and Alzheimer. And it was found later on that when the dissection took place, that there was a new protein in their blood, and they now call it a cold shock protein. So these synapses in the brain and the protein called RBM3 is developed only when you take icy cold showers. And this RBM3 is a key to the formation of new connections. As a matter of fact, they also saw that if artificially you can boost RBM3 level, then the Alzheimer and the other diseases can be prevented. Now, the second stage comes how to produce artificially at a mass scale. It's easy to do it in a lab scale, but upscaling that might be difficult. But then there is light at the end of tunnel for the people suffering from dementia or from the people who are likely to suffer from Alzheimer's and dementia. They are the most crippling diseases. A human being does not remain a human being when you suffer from that. So this research and this, I won't call it a discovery. This is a combination of discovery and invention, innovative. But then this scientific research by Cambridge University is going to be a heaven sent boon to the people. And now here comes something which is of quite interest to the young people. We take notes as students or as journalists, people when they go, they take notes. And there was a time when the notes used to be taken by hand with pen and pencil and paper. Now what the people do is they take notes on their laptops or even on their smartphones. But what is better? That has been a bone of contention between the so-called progressives and the traditionalists. But Princeton University has done extensive research on that, and they have come to a conclusion. A, people who can type faster than they can write by hand, especially if they are grown up using laptops, so it's faster way. So it's a useful exercise to take notes by hand. You can take copious notes quickly, easily, which must be a good thing. No, it's not. Because it has been saying that when you take notes by hand, then you retain those ideas. When you're taking them by a laptop, your fingers are working mechanically and the concepts do not register. And when you're taking them by hand, your mind is filtering those concepts and mulling on them. The students using a keyboard are taking notes verbatim, but those who are writing by hand have no choice but to engage for the information to seep in and they summarize what the teacher is telling or what the for the journalist the speaker is saying. So they summarize it and then the summarizing they capture the concept and things like that and make absorb it. So research was done and it was found that the students who took notes by hand were able to understand the concepts And the tricky intelligence tests showed that they were more capable. You see, what happens is that when you are taking notes, were better, just without the process of absorbing them, just jotting down mechanically. It is a very shallow form of cognitive processing. Your brain is not working fully. You can do so even without thinking about the content. Content escapes you. But when you are using pen and paper, you process the information more deeply than you can possibly write down. As I said, you have to summarize. And the other use of using pen and paper is that you move around the page very quickly, circling, underlining, adding extra information on the margin. When you're typing what the person is saying. It's just somebody is vomiting it out and you're catching hold of the vomit and throwing it. No. But here you can process, you can make your editing notes, you can add content to whatever is being said. So for a student, it's much more important and desirable to take notes by hand. So are we not reverting to the old systems? The novelty, the so-called beneficial aspects are losing. And now comes something quite interesting. The scientists had discovered that there's a new organ in throat. Now, in Netherlands, they were studying prostate cancer. And when they were studying that cancer, they stumbled on it was just a discovery that there's a new organ in human throat. As a matter of fact, this new organ was never known. It's a set of salivary glands, the glands which produce saliva, in the upper part of the throat, and it was called tubercle salivary gland. This is behind the nose, and till now nobody could imagine. And it's a diffuse, and this is about 1.5 inches long, 3.9 centimeters to be more precise. And it's located over a piece of cartilage in the nose. According to the researchers who discovered this new organ, these glands probably lubricate and moisten the upper throat, behind the nose, and the mouth. So until now, there were three large glands in the humans, one under the tongue, the second under the jaw, and one on the back of jaw behind the neck. And now comes a fourth gland, and they say this gland is extremely useful for treating prostate cancer. They can manipulate it, but the very fact that the human body, despite centuries of research, has yet not been fully discovered. The mystery of the human body still is sustained. And now, again, revert back. We look around us on the geography and we find huge deserts. But were they always deserts? No. The Thar Desert, which covers parts of India and parts of Pakistan, evidence has found that there is a river, huge river, that ran through this desert 172,000 years back. 172,000 years back. And this research has been done by Max Planck Institute, Germany, Anna University in Tamil Nadu, and IASCR in Calcutta. They say that people in the Stone Age population lived here, and they enjoyed the sweet water of this huge river which flew at that time 172,000 years back. As a matter of fact, this was running all over the desert, and it was a lifeline to the human population, enabling them to inhabit the region. Much different than the desert that we see today. And there is a modern river, though it is waterless. So it is 200 kilometers away from that river, maybe. It's a part of that river. This finding predates evidence of the activity in the modern river across Thar Desert. And then there are, other river basins, Ghaggar, Khakra. But the presence of a river running through the Thar is something new. And then it corroborates another thing. In 1998, I was informed by Germany that they had done the satellite imagery, and they found in the Rajasthan desert underground water 50,000 square kilometers of fresh water was there, but it was so deep that it was very difficult to use it, but it can be used according to them. So maybe that river which was flowing went underground and formed a lake. This desert has a rich prehistory, and this river was possibly a lifeline to Paleolithic population. Maybe it was an important river for migration of the people from Africa. But the satellite imagery shows a dense network of rivers at that time, 172,000 years back. And the deep deposits of river sand and gravel have been exposed over there. And the scientists have used a dating system called luminance dating to understand the quartz grains in the river and find out their age. And not only that, this river continued from 172,000 years back to 75,000 years back. So 100,000 years is covered in that study. And it was found that even 78,000 years back, there were traces of the river, and there was a reactivation 26,000 years ago. So if we take the stages 176,000, 95,000, 78,000, 26,000. So we find that this region was a conduit for the human behavior, which was linked with the earliest expansion of the human beings from Africa to India. Wow, what a discovery. So these are the nuggets of knowledge to widen your horizons of knowledge today. And we meet you again next week, same time. Thank you.